Hey there guys, it's so nice to be back on camera with you and seeing you guys. Welcome to all my crochet and crafty friends out there. If you are new here, my name is Toscha and I run a very small crochet business called Crochet by Toscha, where I like to talk about all things crochet. I love to find new patterns, I love pattern tests, I go to markets, and I also have my crochet plushies in 2 different stores in Freeport, Maine. So I'm coming here today to just kind of start off this week and let you guys know what I've been working on. I just got back from a 10-day trip to Ireland with my family, and it has taken me a little while to get back in the groove. I immediately had my sister pick me up from the airport, and she's from out of town, so we spent a few days together. So I really wasn't able to crochet during that time because you know how it is, like your family's in town. You don't want to be closeting yourself in a room crocheting all the time. So we did some fun activities together, but she's headed back, and now actually her daughters are going to be coming in town, so I will be spending a little bit of time with them, which I'm looking forward to. But I want to show you what I actually was able to crochet while I was in Ireland, which is not hugely surprising because we were in the car quite a bit traveling to some different hiking spots. But one of the patterns that I was really excited about trying out is the Bitty Octo. And this is the little Bitty Octo. And this is actually a yarn called Fruitalicious that I found in Ireland. And I found it at a little yarn shop, or like little craft shop. It was one of the only yarn shops that I was able to find. And it had like maybe 5 or 6 different kinds of yarn, 1 or 2 different colors, like very, very, very light amount of yarn. So this is the Bitty Octo. Pattern is by Stitch Sister Co. I made it in a bunch of different colors, but I want to show you this one first. This is the Fruitalicious. The pattern has 2 different head sizes or body sizes. This little one is called the Bitty Octo, and this one is called the Small Octo. I actually did that on accident. I thought I was making the Bitty, but I was actually making the small. The tentacles are about 5 or 6 stitches longer, and the head is a couple rounds wider. So I'm trying to make most of my Bitties, or my Octos, in this Bitty size because it's faster, it's easier, and I want them all to be the same size in the basket. So I made this one. I've already put my little tag on it with some yarn, so he's ready to go, and I did all embroidered eyes. Okay, so then I had to get kind of creative, and I found this brown yarn at the same Irish store, but then I was like, okay, how can I make this a little more interesting? And so I was able to find worsted weight yarn in this really pretty seafoam green color. So what I did was I double stranded for just the tentacles, and I really liked the way it turned out. I didn't expect it to look as good as it did, and I was showing it to my daughter, and she said that it looks like the tentacles in the ocean that glow. So I really like the way he turned out. You can see the size. This is chenille yarn. This one looks like blanket yarn. Okay, so the next thing that I made was I tried like an all worsted weight Bitty, and I don't usually use worsted weight yarn, but I really was kind of limited on the amount of yarn that I had, but I really like the way it turned out. This makes a really good fidget toy. It's very sturdy. I just used a purple and a white worsted weight yarn, and I double stranded, and I really like the way it turned out. It turned out a little bit smaller than the chenille, but not a huge amount smaller. Okay, then let's see, I want to just stick with the ones I made in Ireland, and then I'll show you some of the other ones. Okay, so I had this Fruitalicious yarn, and I also had some black chenille yarn, and I don't know if you guys can see what I did, but I wanted to make the tentacles different colors, so I made 4 tentacles black, I made 2 tentacles Fruitalicious, and then I combined black and Fruitalicious in this one right here. So I think it turned out really cute, really unique, a little bit different. So far that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. But of course I didn't stop there. Okay, so when I got home, I pulled out my gumdrop yarn. And if you've used gumdrop yarn before, you know that it changes color. So her head is this green color, but then I transitioned to pink in this first tentacle, and I think it turned out really, really cute. So all of her tentacles are mostly pink, and she's super adorable. Okay, then I pulled out my mystical yarn, and I made a mystical Bitty Octo, so cute. the mystical yarn makes for a great variegated yarn. And this, I don't know the color off the top of my head, but it's like kind of like a rusty red color. Okay, after I made that one, then I grabbed my variegated yarn. I just love the way the Bitty Octo turns out with this variegated yarn. Really interesting, really cool, really sweet. Okay, and then the last one I actually have not finished because I was making it the day before yesterday, but this is Perfect Phasing yarn by Bernat. Right now the yarn is kind of caught. All I have to do is stuff it and cinch the bottom and we are good to go. But I really like this color. I think that octos always look really nice in shades of blue or green. And her eyes are a little too tight, so I might go back and add another layer of her eyes so you can see them. So let's see, in total, let's see how many I made. I made 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I'll probably have to make one more because why would I stop at 9? 10 is better. So I made 9 Bitty Octos and I'm gonna charge $15 for these at my next market. Okay, the next thing I was market prepping this week were chickens. I almost sold out of chickens at my last market. And this is the typical Mabel chicken pattern. I usually make my chickens this size and I charge $10 or maybe 12. I think I charge $12. Anyway, I want to make some bigger chickens and I do have some really good patterns for the next size up, but I made this one out of this really great speckled yarn. And then I used Mystical to make this one. I think this is called Canyon, I believe. And then I grabbed another Mystical yarn in this really pretty rust red color again. You really can't see his beak. It's kind of blending in. And then I wanted to make like a Stardew Valley chicken. So I made one out of this really pretty turquoise color. So 4 chickens. And I would like to I'm definitely making more chickens this week. And then the next thing that I prepped this week was something that I absolutely almost sold out of. I think I had one left, and that was the small octos. And this one was actually, I used gumdrop yarn, and you can see like how it changed colors in the last 2 tentacles. Looks a little funny. And then I also used this one, made an octo out of this Bernat variegated yarn. This is a great pattern. I'll link it down below. This is a great pattern because the tentacles aren't super long, so it doesn't take very long to make it, but yet they're just long enough that you can tell they're tentacles. And then the last thing I made was one out of this Mystical yarn. Her tentacles didn't show up very well. They're like really tucked in the bottom for some reason. I could go back and add like another layer of tentacles if I want to, so that's 3 octos, and I definitely want to make more of these. Okay, I want to talk to you guys about an Etsy purchase that I made. I went to a market a couple weeks or maybe like a few weeks ago, and this girl had her tent out there, and then she had like a wooden sign kind of sticking out, so where when you walk down the street you could see her sign from pretty far away, and you could see like that you were coming up on a tent that had crochet. So I went ahead and found the girl who makes these. I actually went and spoke to the girl in the tent, and she gave me the information. But it's this wooden board, and she and her husband run this company, and you order it like this, and then it has, I don't think I brought it with me, but it has a little metal piece that connects to your tent to where when you walk down the aisle, like the aisle where the tents are, you would see your wooden sign. I think it turned out really nice. I gave her just an image that I had made on Canva that I actually wasn't even sure was going to turn out that great, but I really like the way it turned out, and it's on both sides, so no matter which side of the street you're walking on of the market, you will see it. And I'm really excited to take this to the market with me. I think it's going to be really interesting. One thing I've never done before. So I will link this maker down below so that you guys can see it. The other thing that I ordered were some bags to ship some plushies in. I'm getting ready to begin stocking up my Etsy shop with new plushies. I was going to kind of sit down this week and decide what I want to make and what I want to stock the store with. and I thought I would focus on kind of summer items leading into fall. So I went ahead and purchased some plastic bags like this. I usually send my plushies in boxes, but I'm also going to be making wristlets. Totally new item for me. I'll talk to you about it later. But I thought these bags would be perfect for a wristlet or safety eyes. So I am also stocking up my safety eye collection on Etsy. And so I wanted to get some more of these prettier bags to ship them in. Okay, that's it for right now. I thought I was supposed to have a market today. So I was so like frazzled after coming back from Ireland and just kind of being busy for the week that I got very confused and got like 1 week off. I thought my market was today, but it was actually a week from today. And when I pulled up on the street where the market is, oh my gosh, I looked at my husband and I was like, I don't think the market is today. I don't see a single tent or anybody or not even a single person or organizer. So I looked at my calendar and I was like, oh, how did I get that? I mixed that up. So I don't have a market until next week. I was very relieved because I wasn't in the frame of mind to have a market. I felt very frazzled. Like my stuff was everywhere. I'm not even sure if I had my battery pack with me. Oh my gosh. It was like one of those moments where you throw everything in the car and you hope for the best. But I just didn't want to go to a market like that. So I was very relieved. I was able to come back here to the mainland house and work on my craft room. And so that went really well. But tomorrow I'll be headed back to the island because my nieces are going to be there and I want to be able to see them. But I will be doing some market prepping this week. And so I will be including that in this vlog. And I appreciate you coming along with me. And I have more stuff to talk about, but I don't want to keep jabbering on. So what I thought I would do is show you guys the yarn that I just bought and then show you what my plans are for it and see if I can practice making a wristlet. Hold on. First, I'll show you guys the yarn that I bought and then I'll show you the pattern I'm thinking of making. I bought this yarn in a couple different styles. So this is the t-shirt yarn. It's supposed to be like t-shirt weight and it's all in like Chinese, so I have no idea what any of this means. But it just says like basically nothing. It doesn't even have the color filled in. But I bought this as a set, so I'll link it down below. But it's this aqua, white, lavender, this really pretty smoky blue color, peachy pink, and then this light blue. And I'm gonna go ahead and try to I want to do two things. I want to try to crochet something, and I also would like to make a keychain. I want to make keychains and have like a keychain display, something other than plushies that I can take to markets or maybe even sell in the store. So trying this out. I also have purchased macrame yarn, which is not going to be here for a little bit. I'll show you guys the brand that I bought because I had already purchased one previously and it's called Like E-Cords. And this is true macrame yarn. Macrame yarn is 3mm. I like how thin it is. When I make the keychains, it won't be too thick. I have made them before with really thick yarn and it's not as easy to use. So you can see looking at the t-shirt yarn and then looking at this thin macrame yarn, you're going to get like a different knot, a different size knot. So I'm totally new to macrame, but I'm fascinated by it. So I want to try it out. And I think I'm going to go ahead and next and show you the pattern that I'm thinking of making. This pattern is called the Halcyon Keychain by Christina Ann Studios. And so I'm going to be working on this one. It is a crochet pattern. It's not a macrame knotted pattern, but I'm going to start with that, see how it looks in that t-shirt yarn, and then I will check back with you guys and kind of let you know how it's going. Purchased a box of these little brass keychains. This is great for crocheting on or even macrame knotting. So I'll link this down below if you guys want to see. It comes in, I can't even remember how many in here, but there's quite a few in here. Made in China, of course. But you get a whole bunch of these, and so we're going to try this out. I'm going to try this really pretty baby blue t-shirt yarn first. And here's my little keychain. So I noticed the first thing that it wants me to do is to crochet into this open spot right here. And so I'm going to do a few rows and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. Here's what it's looking like so far. I've never done this before, so this could be correct or this could be totally wrong. But it doesn't seem too difficult. It's basically just doing single crochets until it reaches 11 inches. So I'm going to continue working on this and then see what it wants me to do next. I just finished my first keychain. This is a halcyon knotted keychain. I think it's probably not as neat as hers is in the picture. I kept knotting it and like not kind of worried about the ends coming undone, but I think it's pretty cute. I think up here near the top, I don't know if I did this part right. There's supposed to be 2 single crochets on that loop, but it seems like it would be nicer if there was like another single crochet on that loop to make it a little sturdier. But basically you would just put your keys on this. Halcyon keychain. And this will probably be like one that I won't sell because maybe could be better. This is my bitty octopus. I'm making it out of the t-shirt yarn. I wanted to see what a pattern looked like that wasn't like a keychain. So this is the head. And something I noticed about the t-shirt yarn, it makes more of a formed crochet project, but so easy to work with and really easy to see your stitches. So if you're a brand new crocheter, t-shirt yarn would probably be a really good option for you. And I thought just to bring this a little more interest, I'm gonna go ahead and do the tentacles in different colors, like different pastel colors. But you can definitely see some holes in the project. It's not as tight as it could be, so I could maybe possibly use a smaller hook. Although the size of the yarn, 5 is really working out perfectly, so I probably wouldn't do that. I would probably stay at 5. Just finished up my bitty octo made with t-shirt yarn, and this is how it turned out. I think it's so cute. What a great little fidget toy. It's a little stiffer than chenille yarn, obviously, but really easy to work with. It was a little tough to close the little hole at the bottom, but overall I think it's really adorable. I just have to add 2 little eyes and maybe some blush just to kind of finish it off. But I really like the way this turned out. Let's compare it to what it would look like with chenille yarn so that you can kind of get an idea of how t-shirt yarn compares. They're very similarly sized, but the chenille one is just softer. But I really like the way it turned out. I would definitely make more of these in different colors. You guys, look how pink and red my face is. This is because I've had a cough for like 5 weeks and I went to the doctor and they put me on steroids. And since then my face has been red. Has that ever happened to you before? And also, why am I coughing so much? I was never sick. I never had COVID. I'm not congested. I just have this cough. So trying to figure that out. I'm on like week 3, week 4. I don't even know at this point, but I'm just hoping that this steroid works. So it's 10:30. I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Hey there guys, today's Saturday. Today I'm working in my craft room, as you can tell, and it is actually a lot neater than it was before. But I'm going to be putting together a unit for some extra yarn storage because obviously this is not enough. Haha. But I want to put a little yarn storage unit in my closet. So I'm going to be putting that together. Excuse my hair. I don't have air conditioning in my craft room yet, so I am just like a sweaty mess. But I was able to get this Target storage cube put together, which I'm horrible at putting things together, but I was able to do this. So if you're intimidated by a storage container, you're not sure, I would go for the 9 cube. I have this yarn that doesn't have a spot. I have this yarn, and then I just got an order for stash goals, which I want to do a video about here. And then I also ordered Knotty Pony yarn. So between those few containers, I think I will be able to fit that yarn into this storage cube. So I'm going to be putting it into this closet. I thought about putting it here just because it would be aesthetically nice, but I think I have enough over here for like a background. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this into this closet, put the yarn away, and see how it looks. look at some of the yarns that I put in here. These are mostly my furry and fluffy yarns. So this is sheepy yarn, which makes excellent Della ducks. If you've never made a Della duck out of this yarn, it is like so amazing to work with. And the duck turns out precious. I have some fluffy yarns in here. I sometimes use these for chicken combs. I've actually made an owl out of this one. I couldn't even tell you what kind of yarn it is. Up here, I have some pipsqueak yarn, which I love to make little cats with and sometimes chickens. And then this feels like bliss yarn. I think this is called something, it's like has to do with something soft. I just can't remember. I don't even know what this one is. I'll have to look it up, but it's kind of glittery. And then here I have some wool yarn. Okay, I've made a few changes, so I thought I would show you guys what I did. You already saw this closet. Put my safety eyes up here because I just didn't have a good place for them. They're still very disorganized on top, but the containers need to probably be relabeled a little bit because I've changed some of the numbers. And here's all my stash goals yarn. You can see it over here. And then my fluffy yarn. And then I put some of the like random things that I use up there. This table I found in the basement. It's just like a really old work table, but it's perfect for my 3D printer. So I put that here. My son-in-law, Sam, hopefully will get that going again. And then I have my resin for resinize, and then my laminator, and then my Cricut. And then this is the main desk where I work. I'm still like kind of dusting it. And I have my thing that holds my phone and my camera, my yarn winder, cactus light. I have some random doodads around the windowsill. And then over here, I just stacked up 2 crates for my crochet books. I have some labels down there that I use. And this is a little porcupine that I bought when I was in Ireland. I think he's so cute. Or no, he's a hedgehog. I'm sorry. It's a knitted hedgehog. So cute. And then I put my little tiny glitters over here because I couldn't fit them. This is my projects that I'm currently working on. And then this desk is where I have all my paints, glitters, little things up here. And there's more glitter, stickers. I need to get this working again. No one has responded in my comments about this. This thing is not printing. I need to try again because I haven't tried in a couple months. But basically, it's not printing. You'll see a slight little faded gray where the print should be. But I've only used it a couple of times. This is the AC unit they're about to put in here. And then I have my lamp. And then I have my whole entire yarn wall. I found a lot more XL yarn. So I'm going to definitely have to do some projects with this Knotty Ball yarn because I love it and it's discontinued currently. So there's my yarn wall. And then that's the rest of the room. So this is what it looks like. I vacuumed. And I feel a lot better about it. I wish I could just stay here. But I will be going back to the island tomorrow. So we'll have to decide what projects to take with me. The house is still very much packed up. This is like photo albums, keepsakes, and junk, crap, trash. This is my husband's office. We just put this together, but we're not done yet. This is going to be Nana's room. This bed we're giving to my daughter because the people left it. I got her bedroom kind of situated, but I need to now go back through and unpack all of her boxes. But this is going to be a nice little cozy place for her to hang out. It even has like a little kitchenette. And then she has her bathroom right here. And the bad part is that her closet is here, which is fine. This actually could be a bedroom, and then that could be like a living room. But we decided to make that whole room her room. The next day, and I'm just sitting down to get some work done. I've been working on things in the house all day, cleaning and unpacking boxes, and I'm just getting a few minutes to sit down and work on another keychain. So I want to show you guys this pattern that I found. Hold on. This is the pattern, and it's called Macrame Keychain Guide. And one thing that I really like about this pattern is it is made for t-shirt yarn. The macrame is the actual knotting and folding, and it's actually a really beautiful way that she's written the pattern. The pattern includes these different keychains that you can make. And let's look at who it's by. It's by Bontite DIY. And you can make 10 beautiful keychains. And what I like about it is that she goes through the different types of knots very specifically so that you can see, I'll just show you this one, so that you can see how to do the actual folding and knotting, because that can be pretty confusing. Even if you're watching a tutorial, it's really hard to follow along. So I'm excited about this one, and I'm going to be making, hold on, the one I'm going to be making first, called the Spiral Wristlet. and I'm going to be using a really pretty lavender t-shirt yarn. I've gone ahead and folded it, and this is so funny. I bought a clipboard so that I can use a clipboard, but I don't have it yet. I'm just hooking this onto something, but I've gone ahead and folded the t-shirt yarn the way she asked me to do it, and I'm gonna go ahead and start making it. I accidentally started making the square knot instead of the other one I was gonna do. I think the hard part about this is keeping it nice and flat. You can see at the top it looks really nice, and then here I did a little twisting, I think, because it doesn't look as neat. Also, you have to leave 3 centimeters of space between each knot, otherwise it just looks like a big ball of yarn. So I just have to make sure I'm not tightening them too tight and make sure that I'm keeping it flat. It kind of reminds me of making a friendship bracelet when I used to go to summer camp. I used to make friendship bracelets, and you have to put like tape down on top of the bracelet to keep it flat, otherwise it twists. So maybe I need to go back and try that again. But I'm going to continue making this until it reaches 42 centimeters. I would like to tell you I'm enjoying this project, but I'm really not. This is my keychain so far. It looked really good when I first started, and then now it just looks really bumpy and doesn't look good, and I'm losing interest. So I ordered a bunch of macrame yarn. I'm hoping when I get the macrame yarn, I feel a little more motivated. I think t-shirt yarn might be better for crocheting. I don't know, her keychains look amazing, but it's just, I'm getting like tired and like unmotivated. So I'm gonna move on to something else. There, it's July 30th, and I wanna do a quick check-in with you guys and just kind of let you know what I'm working on. So yesterday, I really focused on a video that I was gonna make that is about creating patterns that you have not made for a while, and it was a challenge by April from the Cozy Buckeye and Stacy from Stacy Makes, and it was like really fun to go back into my old patterns because there's a reason why I bought those patterns. Obviously I wanted to make them, but I just got like pattern overload and then never. So I'm gonna do a very fast showing of what I made because I don't want you to be bored by, maybe you already saw that video and you don't wanna look at it again. One of the first things that I made, and it was this adorable Monster Mash monster. So cute. And my daughter told me it reminds her of Where the Wild Things Are, and it kind of does. I didn't do that on purpose, but it does. And I made this with mystical yarn, super soft. He's got a squishy little belly button, and I just think he's so cute. I can't wait to make more of these in different color variations, different style horns, different style ears. The patterns are unbelievable. And I looked, she's sold like over 400 copies of this pattern. So obviously people are loving it, and a lot of people are wanting to make it. So this is one of the ones I made. The patterns that I chose, I wanted it to be a market make, something I could throw in a basket, make a bunch of them. So I made these adorable little ladybugs. I think they're so cute. They're super fast and easy. I think like 12-15 minutes I finished these, and they have little heart details. Very easy. I actually used Knotty Ball yarn for the heart detail, but super cute. I love how their antennas look slightly different, even though I made them exactly the same. This so cute cat. Like, look at this cat. Like, just the way his little belly sticks out, and he's just kind of like sitting there with his arms and legs popped out in front. He's just so cute. I made this with Pipsqueak yarn and a 6mm hook, and I embroidered the eyes. I just think it's so adorable. My daughter saw this and was like, Mom, what is that yarn? I want to make something with it. So she doesn't make little creatures, so I don't know what she's gonna make with it, but this is what it looks like sitting. This is what it looks like standing. Actually, this yarn was really easy to work with. Like, compared to some of the other fluffy yarns, I didn't have a hard time with it at all. Feels Like Bliss, I have a hard time with that. Like, just keeping a grip on it. But this is very easy to work with yarn, and I have it in a bunch of different colors. I have rainbow. That would be really nice. So, made that one. I wanted to make a fall-inspired pattern, one that I had purchased. So, this little popping pumpkin creature guy, which is so cute. I used, this is Bernat yarn. I think this is Chenille Basics yarn in this like rust color, and this one took a while, but so cute. Again, if you had a bunch of them, they're probably gonna sell. If I had one sitting on a table, maybe not gonna sell. So we'll have to make more of this one. And then in the same pattern is this apple. Popping apple. I made this with Premier yarn. Very, very fast and easy pattern. So cute. Nice heavy top. Some of these popping characters, the top isn't as big, and it doesn't pop as well. This one like pops really well. So I made these two fall inspired characters. I also made this little bitty kitty. I think this is by Palms and Posies, something like that. Super adorable little flat, non-stuffed little kitty. You can like put them in a little basket. I think this would be really cute with a mom, like the mom and baby. Some face shaping involved. Embroidered the nose. Not that difficult to make. I don't like the way the tail sticks out like this. I might curl it or something. I just think the yarn was really stiff and it just was weird. But I like this mystical yarn as the accent color. Super cute little kitty. Okay, and then today is all about pattern tests. And of course I have to go uptown because you can't have a day where I don't go uptown. And that's a bad thing, by the way. I just want to stay here. But I have 3 pattern tests that I have to finish today. Like, it's been a couple days and I always feel so anxious when I sign up for a pattern test. And then I haven't I've chimed in and introduced myself, but I haven't done anything else. So it is time. And this is one of the first ones that I've made. It's this adorable little goldfish. And this was the fastest, easiest pattern test. I didn't have the right colors to make the clownfish colors, but I did have a little bit of, I think this is gumdrop yarn, and I think this is Premier Parfait yarn. I just mixed them. I think probably that wasn't the best combination. This isn't as thick as it should be. I do like the way it turned out. So I finished this pattern test, and this pattern will not be out before I post this video, but I will still link the maker down below, as well as all the other patterns that I've mentioned in case you guys want to go make them. So I've made fish like this and put them in a glass jar, and they sell really well that way. People like the concepts. I've also taken a fish like this and put it like individually in a glass jar, and last Christmas I sold them as pets and they sold out. Like, they were so popular. This would be a little too big, so I would probably have to make this all in Premier Parfait yarn or maybe velvet yarn, and then I could probably fit this fish inside a little glass bowl. So that is what I'm working on. I have another pattern test I'm getting ready to start, and it's by Looping Teddies. And then I also have another one that I'm doing that is a chipmunk that I'm super excited about. So I am gonna go ahead and get started on that. I probably will not check in with you guys until later on in the day when I get back, but I will definitely check in today because I have a lot to do. So you're probably wondering why I'm on the ground. I just got my order of Knotty Pony yarn in the mail, and I wanted to open it with you. So here's the box, and I ordered a lot of it because 2 reasons. 1, I just need more yarn, and 2, I want to support Carrie. So Carrie, if you're watching, I'm so proud of you and so happy for you that you have done so well with your yarn launch, and I hope that it just continues day after day. You know, once we all use our yarn, of course we have to come get back and get more. So I wanted to open this with you guys and kind of show you what colors I got. So let's go ahead and open this box. I'm really excited about this yarn because I just went to Michael's recently, and although they've been getting some of the yarns that we saw at Joann's, I really didn't see much when I was there, at least not at my Michael's. You guys ready? Ooh. Let's see. Here's a cute, adorable postcard that says Knotty Pony. So much for your support. It allows me to do what I love every single day. I can't wait to see your adorable creations. How cute that is. This is something you keep. You don't throw that away. Pretty. These would be great safety eyes for the monster that I just made, to make another monster and then use these safety eyes on him. I think I just might have to do that. What I decided to do, just to keep it simple, is I bought sets of 12, and I bought 5 sets of 12. So I'm just gonna hold them up like this. Orange and green and lavender. These have light pink, and we have light blue, and more of this beautiful pumpkin color. White, because we all know how much we need white. More lavender, and this beautiful like lemon yellow. We have this royal blue, red, and more yellow. Brown and black. And Carrie did say in her last video that she was going to be possibly in the future coming out with some like other colors, kind of fanning out to pastels or shades of brown. So if you have not seen her yarn, I will link her site down below, because now let's open one of these containers and let's see what it feels like. Ooh, it does feel very soft. Feels very nice. I watched her video and she showed how it doesn't really shed. It doesn't shed. And I'm really excited to try this. Look at this color. Isn't that pretty? Monster with like green and orange and maybe a little bit of lavender. We just might have to do that. Morning. It is July 31st, Thursday, and I'm just sitting down to get some crochet done, but I want to kind of show you what I worked on yesterday and some I had to do some corrections to some of my store items. I want to show those to you, and then I think after that I'm going to actually close out this vlog because I noticed it's getting really long. I have a market on Saturday, so I'm going to be doing some market prepping and some pricing, and I want to make that into a different video. I went to the store a couple days ago just to kind of look at my display, and one of my eyes had popped out. I've been having this problem more and more. Even though I'm using my tool, it still can sometimes pop out. So what I did was I just added hot glue to the back of it and just like pressed it in as hard as I could. I think what I'm gonna have to start doing is putting hot glue between the eye and the back and then using my tool to where it like gives it some extra security. But I went ahead and added that. These are really pretty eyes. And the little baby that's inside, this isn't all from Jade pattern. Somehow I had forgotten to put eyes on it. I don't know how I did that, but I did it. I forgot to put eyes on it. So I brought that home to fix. At the same time, I'm sick. So I've had a cough for like 6 weeks, like an unexplained cough. And I've been on all kinds of medication, nothing's helping. But then this morning I woke up with an actual head cold. So that really sucks. I also had to fix the eye on this one. This eye popped out on my lobster. And I love this lobster, so I was really sad to see that. And I just hot glued it, pressed it in, and it stayed. So it's probably more secure than the other one at this point. The other thing I was working on last night is I got accepted to 3 different pattern tests, and one I worked on yesterday. It is from Veronica it's Veronica with Looping Teddies, and it's her Sleepy Bear, and she asked us not to share the items before it releases, but I can do a sneak peek. So I'm gonna do a little sneak peek with you because it's such a cute pattern. I used Knotty Ball yarn. It's gonna be a Sleepy Bear, and it doesn't have a head, so you can't really see the whole thing. But this is the Sleepy Bear. This is its paws. And it took me a while to make these paws, and it's gonna have like a head right here and probably a tail. But I ran out of yarn. I ran out of the dark gray yarn, so my husband had to go uptown, so he went to the other house and got me another ball of this yarn. Thank God I had some. I was so worried because this is discontinued right now. She's gonna ever put it out. But I'm really excited to finish this today and wrap up that pattern test. I also have another pattern test for a chipmunk, which I'm gonna be working on today in next week's video. So I just wanna say thank you guys so much for coming along with me. In next week's video, I will be trying out Knotty Pony yarn and doing a little bit of a review on that. But I'm excited about trying that out because I have so many new fresh colors to try. And gonna be working on my pattern testing. I'm gonna be pricing a bunch of items for my market on Saturday, and also maybe a little bit of market prep. So if that sounds interesting, look out for that video. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.